Have you ever wondered what it would be like to not have a car and actually enjoy the idea? Well, we as a family did that for 2.5 years, and today we're doing something a little different. I brought my daughter on board at Waverley,
Okay.
and we're going to share some of our favorite car-free family stories and just more about the experience. What was it like as a family of 8 with no car?
Bum bum bum.
So we didn't have a car for 2.5 years.
hmm
And that was on purpose. And I think a lot of people in our community thought that we had both lost our license, my husband
Yeah,
and
or we had no money. It was just like, no, no.
I. So, what do you remember as being the reason why we decided to go car free?
We, at least in that point in our lives, we didn't really have anywhere else you really needed to go that was more than a 5 mile radius, I would say, or maybe more than 5 miles. I don't know.
No,
But
that's true. It was a 2 mile radius,
yeah,
really.
so Dad's work was only about 2-ish miles away, and he could just ride or bike there. And we could just take the bus for grocery shopping, or we had a Hy-Vee that was about a mile away from our house,
Yeah.
and so we just shopped there. So I just remember thinking it was really cool, like, wow, we're so different than anyone else. We don't have a car. I didn't really put much thought into it. Like, why don't we have a car? I don't know. So yeah.
I will tell you why we didn't have a car. So it was in 2020, and we had, everything was closed for the most part. We couldn't really go anywhere. And so we decided, gosh, we had this 12 passenger van. It was almost brand new. I think it was a 2018, and we loved it. It was awesome. Brian did such a great job picking it out, but it was sitting in our driveway and we rarely ever used it. And when we did, it was just to go for a lark, just to like, well, I don't know, it would be fun. Let's go here or let's go there. And I like
Mhm.
myself a road trip. I think it's pretty darn
Oh
fun.
yeah.
So we would do that. But it was kind of just because it was there, but not out of real necessity. And like we really said, we had a grocery store that was a mile away.
And we would much rather walk there as a family to go grocery shopping, just put all our groceries in the stroller, than, I don't know, drive a mile to go grocery shopping. That was kind of redundant. Like, we can just walk there.
But so
Yeah.
normal too. It's
I
it's what everybody
know.
does, right? It's
It's
because it's convenient.
yeah, no one really thinks, hey, let's walk
Right.
and get our groceries.
So at the time we were looking at, we just really, we as in Brian and I don't know about the kids, but we really wanted to have a homestead. We wanted to move out into the country somewhere and grow our own food and be really self-sufficient. And as I was looking at different YouTube channels, I ran across a family who was doing that, but they lived somewhere in town-ish, and they got around on their bicycles and by walking. They did not have a car, and they didn't have a car for quite a while. And I totally dug it. I thought it was so cool. And then so I started looking up car-free lifestyles. I didn't even know it was a thing. I just thought it meant that you had no money, like you couldn't afford a car, so therefore you don't have a car. But I found more and more evidence of people making this a lifestyle choice of saving. And that's what we came across, was realizing, we're paying this much for car payment, this much for insurance, gas, all the different things that go with owning a car and the car maintenance and everything. And it's kind of just sitting in the driveway. We don't really have anywhere to go. Granted, as we can look back on it, that was a small slice of time where you didn't really have anywhere to go because nobody was open. But that was the beginning of our thinking. And so we thought about it for a couple months. And then Brian said, if you're serious about doing this, let us not sell the car right away. Let's keep the car, but act like we don't have it, but we're allowed to use it once a month.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We saved up. We were able to, the amount of gas we would have spent, no, the money on gas that we would have spent to go like driving back and forth grocery shopping to the cheaper place grocery store or to hit up the sales, because I used to drive like 30 minutes one way to go hit up the discount grocery store.
Oh, I remember that.
And we would end up buying a bunch of crap that was all expired food, but it was so cheap. And then we have crappy food in our house that was so cheap that we spent all this gas money getting to and
I
back
know, so there was
from.
really no point.
Yeah,
in
so I
having-
mean, economics is something to think about. And so Brian brought it to my attention that, simply by walking to the grocery store, you are saving money, even though you're buying more expensive groceries, because collectively, either it's a wash or you actually might be saving money, because you have to be, when you don't have a car, you have to be so much more intentional about your choices about what.
Can I carry this? Can I carry this in a backpack? Can I walk with this?
Oh yeah. Oh my.
Etc. And you can't just like, oh, look at this thing and then that thing. Oh, I need 2 carts. Oh, well, no, you're gonna carry that home.
Right. It changes your spending habits. It really does. Because it was harder to get places, we didn't go out on, oh, we should all go out and get ice cream, or, oh, we should just run to the store and pick up a couple things. Because when you go to the store to pick up a couple things, you end up picking up twice as many things as you intended. You don't stop yourself. I don't have good self-control. Like, it's called impulse buying for a reason. You impulsively say, I need this, and you don't. So in that time, that just reminds me of more conscious shopping, was we were more intentional about our online purchases as well. That it would either be something that we both, as a couple, we both agreed on, like, that's a necessity, we need to order that.
Yeah.
Or we would put it in our cart and just leave it there, or put it for, like, save for later. And it would be there maybe for at least a month or so. And just as a habit of higher fiscal responsibility, of trying to not, like, just buy stuff because you can, but because you actually need it. You still need, 2 weeks from now, do you still really need it? Is that a wise? Oh, no, you probably don't. I don't, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So we ended up going from August 2020 to June 2021 with our 12 passenger van sitting in the driveway, and we would get it out and use it once a month. And we would just kind of figure, and there were some months where we didn't even use it.
Yeah, we were like, what's the point?
Right, don't need to go anywhere. So, like Waverly said, we lived within a 2-mile radius of all of the places that we wanted to go to. And for, I would say, the first year, we walked or we biked everywhere. So Brian invested in some good bikes, and we had bike. So we, at this time, age-wise, we had 5 kids, and they were, I don't know how old you guys were.
I don't even remember.
But
what year is this? 2021?
Yeah, well, 2020, 2021.
Okay,
around
so
that.
I was 10
Oh, yeah,
slash 11. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so 12, 13 down to 2 years old. That's about
I think
one,
so.
1.5.
I have no idea.
Something like that. So that was the age range of kids, and everybody had a bicycle, and that was just fine. We had already collected. Anyway, the point is that we got a bike stroller, or like the tow things. So one that held 2 kids, and Truly and Paladin mainly were toted back there because they were too little to really ride their bikes on the sidewalks. And that's another thing, is that where we were was a very unique place, that we lived in town in a quiet neighborhood that had sidewalks connecting us to the bigger streets. So once we got out of our neighborhood, we could cross the street and we were on sidewalks. And that made it possible for us to kind of go everywhere. And our town is not big, but it's bigger than some. And so getting around was always an adventure. But we would go, it seemed like 5 days out of 7, we would walk to our grocery store.
It was mainly because we were bored, I think.
I think so. There wasn't a whole lot else to do. Grocery stores were open.
It was nice outside.
We would go to parks.
Yes.
And we would go to the grocery store, and we would,
our hobbies. Shopping, I guess.
That's right. It's what we do. And it was was so fun. We'd go maybe once a week or so, we'd go and get donuts.
Oh, yeah.
But we would be walking as a family or biking as a family. And especially the walking part, that created opportunities for conversations that we never would have had.
Yeah, in a car or just anywhere.
No.
I don't know. Just I notice sometimes now whenever we walk or whenever we ride in a car together, like I mean, you and Dad will talk, but as all the family will just be like, "Hey, get out of my way! Oh, what are you doing?"
Car drama.
And just stuff like that. But with walking, I don't know. I just remember like having different conversations, not at once, but throughout the whole walk. Say I'd talk to you or Dad for a bit, and then I'd go to the back of like the group and I'd talk to Tennyson. Then I go talk to Wilder over here, and then just keep going back and forth. And it was interesting. Yeah, it was. I feel like more of an experience that just okay, guys, get in the car. We're going to be like, hey, let's go on a walk. Okay. So I enjoyed that. I remember that.
How was it as a learning experience for you, like a physical experience from starting walking everywhere?
Oh, I remember me and my siblings would complain all the time about it. We'd just be like, oh, my feet hurt. It's like, I've only walked a quarter mile, and we were like howling, just like, ah, we're dead. And then we come home and just like collapse on the couch and just like, oh, that was so hard. No, we were exaggerating a lot, but over time, it was just a normal thing.
It's building up tolerance to pain. It's building up strength, and it's building resistance to hard things. Not resistance. You know what I mean. That was a big part of Papa's philosophy was everybody's got to learn how to do hard stuff. And when you ask your kids to, sorry, your shoelace was tickling my toes. Oh. That's so funny. When you ask your kids to do hard stuff, and he was like, I believe that you're capable of this. And it was amazing from the transformation, probably 6 months after we started doing it, where Tennyson in particular was the biggest drama queen about it. I mean, yeah, he was like 6 years old or something, and
he still kind of does it.
He does. He is a very dramatic young man, and today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Tennyson! Yes. He's 11. But yeah, he's 11.
Oh. I thought he was 10. I always picture him as 9 years old.
So young. Yeah.
Cool.
He hasn't changed a lot.
Yeah.
But poor Tennyson his feet hurt him so bad.
He would do the thing, so he would walk, and you're supposed to pick up your feet when you walk. Obviously, that's how you walk. He would like shuffle.
Oh, do the
so instead of just like walking,
yeah.
And he'd wear these really big boots, which is I think they were winter boots, and it was so funny because he'd just be shuffling these big old feet on the sidewalk. My feet, they hurt so bad. Man, poor guy. But so we had to teach him how to walk. And yeah.
And he ended up figuring it out. And we
eventually
finally convinced him to get better shoes. Because he was just really married to those shoes. But we got him Minecraft shoes. And
yeah,
he I think wore holes in them. Like he loved them so much. Our boys wear their shoes hard, especially when we walk everywhere. But that was a really cool experience to get to have all of that time to talk. And I love that we still walk together in the mornings. You're my walking buddy. And so we take Parrish in the stroller, and
I'm very glad that he doesn't complain so much about it, but now it's just into the routine that he's kind of just accepted that you're coming or you're staying, buddy.
Yeah, and this is how long it is.
Yes, this is how long it is. We're not going home, and you can't get up.
Yeah.
We usually give him snacks, though, so that motivates him.
That would motivate anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that whole, and then I was pregnant during that time as well, within that 2.5 years, and walking everywhere while being pregnant was pretty much wonderful until the winter, and that was really hard. My grandma was super gracious in offering her vehicle, but that was a challenging aspect with Brian and I, on like, where do you philosophically stand? Why do we not have a car? It's not because we couldn't afford a car, it was because we were choosing not to have a car. And so continuing to accept the gracious offer of someone else, hey, do you need to borrow the car? Like you can use it anytime. I mean, that was really tantalizing being a pregnant woman in an Iowa winter when you got icy sidewalks and all that stuff. And we had some hard conversations where he just said, hey, we got to stick to what we said we were doing. Otherwise, why are we doing this? And so that was challenging, but it was very gracious. Like I so appreciate how grandma let us use the car, and we would rent it from her, and then sometimes we would like trade things, and then oftentimes she just let us have it because she wants to love on her kids and grandkids. And so thanks, Mom, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
But it did change a lot how did it affect you socially, not having a vehicle?
Well, I remember in 2020 and a little bit of 2021, it didn't really affect me. None of us were really into a lot of activities, but once 2020 came around, I don't know what play it was, but there was an OCCP play that was happening and I wanted to be in it. And we were like, well, how are we going to get down there? So how far away do you think Bridgeview is?
I
Two?
It's at least 2 miles. It might be 2.5 miles.
And which really isn't that bad. It's just there was this big hill that we all hated so much, and it was probably like a quarter mile long of a hill, but it was still pretty steep, and none of us liked walking up it or riding our bikes up it. But so I think that was the summer of 2021 where that play was happening, and so I don't know, I just really wanted to do it. And so we found a way. Let's just ride our bikes. And I so appreciate my dad would drive me almost, I think about 3 times a week,
Yeah.
almost never skipping a day to go drive me down there or ride with me down there. And then he'd usually, like, it'd be kind of no point to come back since rehearsals were only like 2 hours long. So he would stay down there for 2 hours and then ride up with me again. And I was just like, wow. So sometimes I forget about that. I'm like, wow, I cannot believe that he did that. I would not do that for my kid, honestly. It's not worth it to me. But man, and at the beginning of it, it was like, oh, this is fun. This is interesting. And then I was like, halfway through the play, I was like, okay, I'm so done. And then by the end of that show, I was like, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I'm kind of done with it, like done writing, but it was just like riding your bike.
bicycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like I enjoy it. Not while I'm riding up that hill. I don't for that like 3-ish minutes that I have to do that. That's torture. But the rest of it's very calm. It's very, I don't know, just very fun. And I enjoy feeling the air on my face when I do it. So I think I was around 11 or 12 at the time. And we just kept doing that for the 2 years that we didn't have a car, or
Yeah.
I don't even know how many plays we did that with. I think we
think
did the summer one, the winter one. The winter one was oof.
that was pretty brutal.
Yeah. And then we didn't do the spring one, and then we did Madagascar, I think.
The summer again.
Yes.
And it took us an embarrassingly long amount of time to figure out that we could use the buses.
Yeah.
I was paralyzed by feeling, well, like when you don't know something, and I knew, it's like, I know there's a lot of people with far lower IQs than me that are riding that bus. They got to
figure it out.
Yeah, what's wrong with me? How come I can't figure it out? And finally, I got gutsy enough to say, okay, I think I'll look into this. I'll try to figure out a bus schedule. It was really pathetic of me.
It was pretty easy. Well, I couldn't figure it out, but I was like 11, so.
It's super simple. I mean, the bus came right at the end of our street. It would stop and pick us up if we were there. And but it took us a year or maybe a little less than a year, at least 9 months, for me to get brave enough to learn how to transfer buses.
Yeah.
I know all these city people are laughing, people who have used public transit before. And I had used it before. Like I went to Europe and I rode buses and trains and everything. And then I just got like, I don't know, felt like I couldn't learn something new. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. How do I ride a bus? It's really silly. And then we also learned that there is a great public transit offering that you can schedule rides for far cheaper than a taxi price, like for $5 in town to take you where you just schedule a day in advance for the most part, and it'll take you there and pick you back up for wherever you want to go. And it's like, are you kidding me? Why would I have a car if I had these resources available to me? And we ended up saving altogether about the amount of money that would have gone out during those 2.5 years for our vehicle was about the price of a new vehicle. So that was pretty astounding when you think about the cost of it. So I'd say highlights were, what were highlights for you?
I enjoyed doing it all as a family and just, I don't know, it felt like a fun experience every time we would go. I mean, I'm the type of person that's like, anything's an adventure, really. Like, oh, we're going grocery shopping. Let's go.
Me too.
Oh my
I
gosh,
want to
me too,
go.
I wanna
Right.
go. And if you leave me behind, I get very offended. So,
Yeah.
but, uh, but I don't know. I just remember having a lot of fun with it, and just I really enjoyed when we would go to like the movies and walk over there and to parks and going to practice every week. I feel like that was just really fun experience.
You
You know,
even did softball.
I did,
Yes.
and I'd carry all my softball gear on my back and with riding up that hill. So I feel like yeah.
And after games, you would go and play these night games,
And then I
you
would ride
ride.
home.
Yes.
I would envy those kids so bad at
It's
that point.
so strong,
You know.
people. It's
But
phenomenal.
it was just, especially when we lost a game, it was just very disheartening. You know, like the ride home in your car after a game, and
Yeah.
it's just that silence. It's just like, but I would have to ride my bike all the way home in the dark, and it's just, I mean, I have my dad with there, obviously, but it was just disheartening. I'd say, I don't know, but it was mainly the only times that I wish I really had a car was when it was cold. I feel like in the winter time that was not good, or early spring, not very fun. But other than that, not really. I feel like, and other times where there'd be something happening out of town and we wouldn't be able to go because obviously. But other than that, everything was pretty peachy keen, if I can say so myself. But it was just, I had fun with it, and I feel like people should walk more because it's very fun.
It is. And we recently have been going on more walks again. And it's something that if you don't, I mean, we had it built in as a necessity. If we wanted to go anywhere, you had to walk there, you had a bike. And with that lent that time, especially in home educating our kids, it's those opportunities that provide the time for those conversations where you learn about, I mean, kids asking, what happens when you die? And like, I have all the time in the world to talk about this subject, or how you just talk about gravity, or there have been random and fabulous topics that we've discussed simply by being together and building that time. That to me is absolutely invaluable. And I'm so grateful that we did this. I am also so grateful that my husband bought us a car. And he's the man. And then when you brought up again, like, I think we forget about how much Papa did for our family, for our kids, in being the person to take people places. And like, what a huge time cycle. So there were times where he was taking you guys to rehearsals and you to softball games, all in the same. So he was gone for like 5 hours in an evening. And this is after he has a pretty physical job, and that he had to get up quite early to go to.
Wait, so he would take me, like during Lion King, would he take me and the kids to rehearsal?
Yeah.
And then sometimes he would ride with me to the fields, but most of the time I just ride my bike there and he'd stay. And then would he take the kids back or just take them to the softball fields? I feel like just to the softball fields, because that's really,
I can't remember.
I don't even know. But he would, man, and he
Yeah.
just stayed down there for like, I don't know about, around that time, 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. He's pretty
Like I
incredible.
said, I would not do this for my kids. So sorry, kiddos.
Big love for
Yeah.
Papa. But some of the things that we had, so we did finally learn how to use the bus system. And oh boy, we have some stories
Hmm.
about using the public transportation system in a smallish town. Um, do you have any favorites you want to share?
Um,
And we'll refrain from being too specific. So,
yeah.
okay, what about there's this wonderful Southeast Asian woman who we couldn't understand her very well. She didn't
have any teeth.
I
don't
think
so.
it was lack of teeth that made it hard to understand her, but she was always so excited to see us whenever we got on the bus. She was so enthusiastic, and what did she do for our family?
She would give us money.
She would give us like, here's $60, here's $80. Like, are you kidding
What?
me? You wonderful, beautiful lady. We're okay though.
Yeah, we would try our best so hard to give it back to her. I remember Dad one time was, take it back. I don't need it. But he wasn't being rude. It was just like, no, like you're on the bus because you
see,
like
you can't afford a car.
You can't afford a car.
We
can, but like
I think she had said actually that it was for medical reasons that
Yeah.
she couldn't drive anymore. I could be getting her mixed up with somebody else,
you can't understand her. So
yeah, it was and that made it kind of awkward because like I just want to say nice things to you, but I can't really answer your questions because I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But she was really sweet. But there was I mean, we had an opportunity to really see all different flavors of life. And I'm grateful that you guys got to see, families that were really struggling, people that made choices that were not beneficial to them. And there were times where we didn't really feel safe. And
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of, ex-cons that ride the bus because they don't have their license. Like they legitimately didn't have license.
There's a lot of ex-cons and people who went to like South Atoma therapy or something like that. We had a lot of those kind of people.
Yeah. And that makes sense. People that this is a service available for everybody. I know we really wanted like, why can't more regular folk use the bus system as a green way of living or like just being more intentional? I felt that way. And I wanted to like make bus riding normal, but that we weren't going to change anybody's mind.
No.
But what's really funny, remember the bus was a rumor mill, and they came up with the funniest things about if there was a building that was under construction or something happening.
We heard like three different stories.
In one bus ride. Like, no, I know what's happening. I know a friend of mine, a buddy said it. And I'm just like, oh, well, no, first one. What was hilarious is when we asked one of our bus drivers, which was really like the bus drivers were
amazing. They were amazing. Well, so we had Eric and Jim.
Those were our two main bus drivers. They were both so gracious to us, and she would even go ride the bus by herself, or to go to Wilder, or even before, like, I just want to go shopping and go out for the day, and we were fine with you doing that. Also because we knew that we had already kind of established some relationships with people, and just like they knew who we were and they cared. So I felt comfortable with letting you guys have adventures like that.
And it was actually that's something that I did enjoy about not having a car. It's that for people like me, I was around, I don't know when I started taking the bus alone. I feel like 13 that was the year that I did a lot. No, did we have a car when I was 13?
No.
Mm-mm. Okay.
We got our car in January of 24.
Gotcha. So I feel like maybe a tiny bit when I was 12, but mainly when I was 13. It was just, that's an age where I can't drive. I can't get my permit yet. There's no way for me, like even if we had a car, I can't have like those fun days where, oh yeah, I'll just park my car over here and then I'll drive over to this spot and do that. Like no, and I still can't do that yet, which is annoying.
Right.
But that was something that I could do, that you just have to schedule your day on the bus and just write it all out and figure out the times. And then me and Wilder, we would just get on the bus and go to all these fun spots. We go to Goodwill, we'd go to the mall, to Walmart sometimes, and it would all be connected.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just have to like make sure we were outside on time, because sometimes we weren't, like, oh, I guess we'll have to stay here another hour then. But it was it felt very, especially at that age, it felt very, I'm independent. Wow, I'm going over here all by myself, or with Wilder. But just I felt like that's something,
Capable.
yeah, I felt capable, and I feel like a lot of kids, not that they should like go on the bus with a whole bunch of weirdos and like feel capable with that, but like you can, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of kids don't have a lot of freedom. I feel like it's just, if you want to go somewhere, your mom always has to be with you, which I feel like it's such a big thing nowadays, and that kind of makes me sad. Like, that wasn't me when I was little. Like, I mean, I would love to go with you, but it was just, it's something totally different going by yourself or going with a friend and doing all this. So, yeah, that felt very freeing to me that I could do that.
And as a parent, I think in teaching our children how to be capable people, you having that kind of independence to be able to manage your time, like be responsible. You were responsible. There were direct consequences to if you mismanaged your time.
You're not getting home.
Yeah, we're kind of stuck. And those, to me, that's kind of the real world. And that doesn't mean like throw your child in a lake of piranhas and say, it's the real world, what are you complaining about? But it's about allowing your children to rise and giving them opportunities to fail, to succeed, and when they realize the stakes involved, seeing that you guys really did rise to it and you were so totally capable. And what I loved was how much the people on the bus and the bus drivers would all say, ma'am, you have the most well-behaved children that we have ever seen. We love it whenever we see, I mean, they still wave to us as we walk. And to me, just in a way of just being able to be a witness for, I mean, we've made a lot of wacky life choices that I'm so thankful that we have, but they are outside of normal. And I know so many mothers who would probably clutch their pearls, knowing that we let our children go ride the bus to go down. They had to transfer buses and they had to do all, like they had to manage all that. How, and I didn't have a tracking app on them.
We didn't even have phones at the time.
Didn't even have a phone.
Watches.
Right, watches.
Which I think this is the watch that I had when I was 13.
Yeah.
I need one.
And that to me is, I don't know, I feel strongly about allowing my children to have those opportunities to have that independence and to figure life out. So
I feel like you would, at least for me, when I become a mother, I really want, I want to be able to trust my kids. If I feel like I can't trust my kids to go by themselves and do something, or I have to have them tracked on my phone, I have to know exactly where they are, they have to call me every like 10 minutes, like, I don't want my kids to be that way. And I don't know, I want to be able to trust, I want to teach them to be smart and make good decisions. And those people that I see that don't trust their kids, that just shows me that you haven't taught your kids very well. Like, you haven't taught them to think for themselves. They just think, oh, my mom will take care of it. Oh, there's paperwork, my mom, well, she's got it. Like, I don't know. I feel like that doesn't help you very much in the real world when you grow up. I feel like, I don't know. I'm so thankful that you are not a helicopter mom, because that would suck, especially for that lifestyle that we had.
That's true. I want to touch on, before we wrap up, I want to touch on grocery shopping after. So here's where it got difficult. Our grocery store that was a mile away from the house, that we would be able to take the double stroller, which had deep carrying ability in the bottom. We would be able to get like a week's worth of groceries, basically.
Yeah, and honestly,
in that
we
stroller.
went there enough that we didn't have to buy a week's worth of groceries most
No,
of the
we
time.
didn't. Yeah. And, but we could if we wanted to, or we take the bike trailer and load up. We were doing a lot of stocking at the time. We were buying tons of rice and beans and things like that for the apocalypse, and we are still eating them. And so anyway, when that closed, then we were reliant on backpacks and the bus to go, and it took 3 hours to go grocery shopping, and we went once a week.
And that really forced us to actually meal plan because we don't want to do that more than once a week. And so still now when it's like, oh, I need to go get this one thing at the store. Let's get in the car and drive. Like that just like when I do that with friends or even when we do it, it's just like it feels so wrong.
It does feel
like
wrong.
oh, these people wasting gas money.
Right.
Like getting
it planning.
Yeah, bad at planning, getting that one thing or two things. I don't even know. But
and all the impulse buys
Yeah.
go with it.
But I don't know. And sometimes when we do grocery shop, sometimes I still think I'm not carrying all that.
Right.
And then I realize I don't have to. That's great.
Loaded up in the car.
Mhm.
Well, so we ended up so then we had a baby. So he was front wrapped on me, and then I had a big. It wasn't one of like a full size hiking bag, but they were
They're
a large.
They're the ones that have like all the straps that you would like
All
do
the
that so
support straps
that
you
it
could
would like
hike
so
it.
your back
It was
doesn't hurt
on your
yeah.
hips. And so we would have we'd have at least 2 of those size, and then all the kids would bring backpacks, and
They're
then we
tiny
would
little
have
cool backpacks.
yeah, the cheapo ones, and then we would have a couple bags for carrying delicate things like chips or
bread.
Yeah, bananas, but those usually went in backpacks still. But then and then we were dropped off, and the bus came every 50 minutes
50 minutes.
And so it was kind of a race, like look at the list, get through the store, check out,
Because
and then pack the bags.
main thing was packing the bags. Like grocery shopping didn't take that long.
No,
it was mainly just putting everything in it, which once we got used to it, it was pretty easy. It was just routine.
Yeah.
But I remember the little kids. I mean, obviously we didn't expect them to carry that much, but we'd give them like one thing of strawberries or Tenny some cheese sticks, and they'd still be like, "Oh, this is so heavy,
Mom." Ugh. And this is even after like all we had to walk to was to the bus, to where the bus was going to pick us up, which was just like the length of the parking lot. And then so we would wait there for the bus. And I mean, we did all of this in all weather.
All weather. The snow, we'd have our big coats.
Yes, when it was freezing, we just did it all the time. And yeah, there are other options, like we could have, and we did do some grocery delivery at the time. That's when it was kind of newly being offered. And that was fine, except I just still don't really like the idea of someone else picking out my groceries. I
Really?
feel like, I don't.
That's why we didn't do it that often.
Yeah, like you don't know
A
what
lot of
avocado
people
I
asked
want.
me around that time when I told them that we have to go grocery shopping and did that whole thing. They'd be like, why didn't you just do delivery? Like my mom does it and we have a car. And so we were like, and so I was like, huh, why don't we?
You know. So we did it for Hy-Vee, and they delivered. But then sorry, I was just remembering how we met a person who is now like a family friend, and he was delivering groceries. It was Spud, and he got his van stuck in our driveway. Oh, sorry, but
That was Spud.
We have no reason to really plow that driveway because we don't even really drive anywhere. So it was so funny
to like dig him out.
But at that time, I mean, we wanted to shop at Aldi, I think, and still don't have delivery. And it was when we were struggling with having kind of a newborn infant, and then all of the groceries and all of the kids, and it just got to be an ordeal, and especially in the wintertime. And I remember that fall of 2023 really feeling done. There was some, when you're pregnant, you're on a bus full of people there are some people that smell really, really bad. It's really hard. And yeah, and there's just some people that smelled like they were dipped in the sewer, and you were on the bus with them for at least 20 to 30 minutes. so it kind of got to a point where we're like, I think we've done this. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Could we
Well
go
done.
ahead and get a car? And so Brian was very gracious and did a good job researching and got us a vehicle, and that's great. But to wrap it up, I am so grateful that we had that up. It taught me a lot as a mom about how much we need to have conversation with our kids, and how being in a physical, like how transportation using your own power is very empowering to your kids and to collective family building. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the
Yes,
podcast.
thank
Waverley.
you. Thank you. You'll have to check out all my other podcasts. You have to list me.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. I don't have any podcasts. Usually people do that at the end. They'll be like, oh, you used to find me on my Instagram. Here's my other things. Anyways, you can get it. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
She's got places to go. All right. Thank you so much for joining. And we'll be here next Friday. I hope you tune in. Thanks.